Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Aging Experts. I am so excited today. One of the things that has an aging expert, we talk about what people do to help with the aging process. But you know what? We have not interviewed ourselves. And so it is absolutely my pleasure that I am going to introduce my best buddy here has one of the aging experts to share her story and how she came to be an aging expert. We didn't start out as being aging experts, but we just kind of fell into it because people kept asking us, well, how are you aging so gracefully? I mean, you two are looking like you're getting younger, not getting older. And we're like, well, let's tell you how. So I'm so excited. Anyways,
Well,
Carol, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on.
Well, of course.
My name is Carol Henderson,
Henderson.
and I have Life by Design. I do help people to design their lives. At the end, I want to do a shameless plug for something that we're doing, so don't let me
Yes.
forget.
Right.
But it started out, I mean, I've been in the wellness space for many years. Was a makeup artist for a long time, traveling internationally, teaching people image consulting and doing their body charting and how to put their makeup on and different ways to look better, look more professional and such as that. And this started out in the 80s. And so then my husband broke his back and I had already, I was already doing, healthy eating, supplementation. I mean, not as healthy as I thought it was, but back then we didn't know what we didn't know.
Didn't know.
And we still don't know what we don't know, but it's kind of progressive. And anyway, he ended up having his back fused, which means they glued the bones back together. As the treatment went on immediately after, they roll you every 2 hours. Well, the first time they rolled him, I slept on the hospital room floor on a little thin mattress while we were there, but they got him up and rolled him and he's screaming. And what they had done is they had thrown the covers over on his feet that were sticking up. And so when they rolled him, they rolled his top half and not his bottom half, because that's where he was fused, right there at L5S1, which is at the bottom of the small of your back. And so it had to be fused because all of his body weight, you don't realize how much weight the spine carries. And so he was in two pieces. So his spine wasn't carrying that weight, but his muscles were, and it was a necessary surgery. And off the top, let me say, for emergency surgery and things like that, there is no better health care than the United States. None. However, for the everyday, I've got a sniffle, I've got a cold, here's an antibiotic, I don't consider that health care. So
that's sick care.
That's sick care at the beginning. So anyway, that started, and he was young. He was like 39. And that, we had 3 young children, and they told him he'd never work again. He did. He was the owner of a construction business, and he was able to go and get his crew started, come home and go to bed, go check on his crew, come home and go to bed. And he would check on them like 3 times a day. And we had a great crew. After he had gone, he was off for 2 or 3 years. He was totally off. We were very thankful that it happened on someone else's job. In small business, oftentimes you'll carry insurance on your employees, but not on yourself. And we just happened to be on someone else's job when it happened, and it was due to the job that it happened. So it wasn't like we were doing something erroneous by doing. And anyway, so he got some really good health care. It was after the surgery that got him messed up. So he ended up on 18 prescriptions from that. After that, he had 3 stents, 2 heart attacks and a quadruple bypass due to the pain he was in on those other items. And, 2 of his prescriptions were custom compounded to the tune of $1,000. And
Wow.
and then the heart attack added more. He was on 23 prescriptions. What I'm going to say is he's down to 21 prescriptions, not pills. He's down to 2 prescriptions from 23. And that's not pills, that's prescriptions. And some of them were 8 a day. And so he's kind of my claim to fame.
Yeah.
I've done the same thing with many others, not in those numbers. So, when you live together for many years, you kind of have that longevity of walking it through. We've done it through nutrition, different protocols, products, machines, all kinds of things that we have done and used. And that's become my specialty. But in the meantime, after I was the image consultant, then I owned a modeling agency for about 15 years. And, I used all the skills I got in the image consulting in the modeling, but also the parents knew that I worked in health and wellness.
Wellness, right.
And so they would say, go see Carol, see what she has. And if she can't get you well, then I'll take you to the doctor. So I was like their first line of defense as a parent, because they knew I wasn't going to do anything chemically and, drugs, and there are times that you have to resort to drugs, but those times are much further fewer than. Go ahead.
That shouldn't be the first line of defense. Like, I have heard your story many, many, many times, and it still boggles my mind of all the things that Keith was having to take and the trauma that went to his body, and yet now he is vibrant and he is well and he is up and going in the stuff, things that he can do.
Yes.
And yet was in a wheelchair for so many years.
Yeah, and it wasn't an all the time wheelchair, but as if we went out in public, he was on a walker at home. And then he got so bad at one point that he couldn't use the walker because we couldn't depend on him staying upright. And so to go to the bathroom, he crawled on his hands and knees to the bathroom.
Yeah. No, I've done that.
Yeah. So, but we're talking on a daily basis, because to go out like a deer being shot on TV and they drop, the walker could do more damage.
Oh, right.
And not, and because he had it happened several times that he just would go out and drop. And so, I couldn't have him on the walker. But anyway, today, you haven't even heard this. Today he went in for just a regular checkup. He's on 2 prescriptions now. And we went to the doctor to get one refilled for the next time period. And so he had to do his yearly checkup. And the doctor walked in, he goes, "You are amazing." And we're kind of like, he says, "You're only on 1 prescription. You're 74 years old and you're only on 1%, or 75. You're only on 1 prescription." He said, "That's unheard of." And he's going, "What do you do? How do you do that?" And Keith's going, "Her."
Yeah.
And everything. I said, "Well, truly, he's on 2 prescriptions, but only 1 that you're writing." So, but the doctor just went on and on and on. And that was such validation.
Right.
For what I do. It was so exciting. And so that's, I closed the modeling agency, kind of retired, and I scouted. I flew out a lot, almost on a weekly basis, 3 times a month, scouting, and scouting for other people in small areas to build their agency, but also scouting with a large company. And did that for a while because it just tied back. I did it while I had the agency, but also after I had closed the brick and mortar part of the agency. And still repped kids and taught them and sent them places.
Yeah.
But then, and this is how Barbara and I met. I was a speaker at an event and met a lady named Regina, and she has a mastermind that Barbara and
Yeah.
I both attend and have for 5 or 6, maybe
Yeah.
even 7 years now.
Yeah.
And it has been so life-changing and so valuable to be in that group. And I've met some amazing, it's a small, very intimate group, but I've met some amazing people that way. And I'd always say, well, I'm semi-retired. And she goes, Carol, you've got to quit saying that, because your brain is focusing in on semi or on retired and not
Good.
semi. And I do the mastermind sitting on the porch looking at the lake that I live on and stuff. And it was a very casual lifestyle. Anyway, so then we, it evolved. We I started working with another company that is cutting edge. I
Yeah.
mean, the science is the best science, and a lot of companies will be really good at one point and then they'll kind of not be as good. The bean counters will get in and they'll start looking more at the bottom line and such as that. Um, and there are companies that I still work with, because I don't think you walk into a store and only can buy one thing unless it's like a MAC makeup or something like that. But so I have lots of different things, but this one is the primo on nutrition and
Yeah.
health and wellness. And I've learned more in this last year and a half, pushing 2 years, than I did in all my 40 years before, as far as the science and
Right.
how the body works, and the
Yeah.
what's and whys and wherefores.
Right. And don't you think the part of it is because now the science, this is one of the things that I say all the time, the science is now caught up, is now proving what we've been, those of us that are in the wellness space, what we've been saying for 30 years.
Yes.
But now we have the science to prove it.
And that is true. And this
And
company
that
is
is
open book
so
about all the
open
science
book of the science.
and what's in the products and stuff. And so that is very exciting. And my husband has had, we've had things over the years.
Amazing
It's been a
results.
process, but we've had amazing results in the last 2 years. I have I started doing this, actually met the gentleman that got me going through the mastermind woman, but I joined or I started using their products to get healthier. I mean, I'm always on a quest for healthier for both of
Yeah.
us. And
Yeah.
I lost weight. I lost probably 30 pounds in the first 6 weeks. I don't know exactly, because I wasn't going for lost weight. And so I didn't weigh. And I had come to a place in my life that I thought, I'm not ever going to lose weight. This is how I'm going to be. I'm going to be happy. I will no longer be cursing my body and spiraling down, that I talk about all
Right.
the time. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be healthy, and I'm going to enjoy the rest of my life. Well, then it started dropping off. But that's why I don't have hard numbers of I lost this much this long. There is a video on our YouTube channel. It's just one of the little shorts of what the first day that somebody said, Carol, I was in town. They said, Carol, you really do need to go shopping. You really do need to go buy some clothes. And
Yeah.
I took my camera and kind of did it around and looked at my backside and my, up and down and to see what they were talking about. Well, I had on jeans. They were white ripped jeans. And they were, at the beginning of spring, they were so tight that the skin would pooch out of the rips when I would sit down and almost when I stood up. But anyway, at this point, I could have stuck my arm in one hole and out the other, and the arm fit through there fine. And the back was baggy, like the women that wear the gathered, the elastic waist pants. And I'm like, oh, I do need to go shopping. And so I came home and made my husband who is not a videographer, and take just a quick video of it. So that's my only record of the weight loss. And then
Yeah.
about a month later, I got a Renfro scale, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And it is so cool to be able to read what's going on in your body, because it's
Right.
not always pounds. I mean, when you you're fat, people say they don't, that muscle weighs more than fat. Somebody said, no, a pound is a pound, but
No, it's
the
not.
fat, well, a pound is a pound.
That's
A pound
true.
of fat is like this big, and a pound of muscle is like this big. And so you may be gaining weight, and yet your clothes are getting looser, and
Yeah.
different things like that. So now what I have focused in on is helping people live the second half of their life better than the first. I have kind of moved, I still use all the things from the modeling and the scouting and the image consulting in what I do, but I help people to reinvent themselves or be happier with where they are. Because I truly don't think that we are meant to live our life out being sick, hooked up to tubes and wires in a
Exactly.
hospital bed, or sitting on the sofa watching soap operas and eating bonbons.
Right.
At our age, we have so much wisdom and knowledge and just vibrancy to give the world.
Right.
And that's what I want to share with people, and that's what I want to give to people. And that's part of why we started doing these shows.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how we became the aging experts.
Yeah.
Because it's not about what you like just about who you are, but it's about what gift that you give, like what gift of knowledge that you have that can make a difference in the world around you.
Yes. Yes.
And when Carol and I realized that, we need to share some of these things with the people around us, it was like, well, what better way to do it than to start a show? Right. And so we did, and now it's been over a year.
Yes. And we started out with our Monday Motivations, which you can find on the Mavens of Motivation channel. And then we thought we want to interview some people. So then we started doing Thoughtful Thursdays. And then we thought, well, we really want to focus in on aging, because so many of my friends are on so many medications. Yeah. They're in wheelchairs. They are ill and can't get out and see their friends, or are in homes, assisted living, or dead. I mean, right. How many people have not had somebody die, especially in the last 2 or 3 years? Yeah. And it's not always young people. So you don't know when the second half of your life is going to start.
Right.
So those are the things that we work with, that I specialize in. And so,
yeah.
And I can say, but I love what we're doing.
We love what we do. Because the second half, like with me, it's like aging is not about trying to look like a 30-year-old. It's about being the best ever version of you. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that's in your health, but sometimes that's in your mental. So all of those things, and that's what our show is about. We bring on people who can help you to live a better life, no matter what your age.
Well, and I believe in that. You get up in the morning, and you get up, you dress up, and you show up. And I've taught that for years, and living up on the lake, and it just being the two of us, and we're 45 miles north of town, and nobody ever comes. Sometimes the makeup part doesn't fly. Mm-hmm. I do my hair, but there's times that I don't wear makeup. But we have a little homestead here, and the chickens really don't care, and neither does Keith. But it's all about being a better you and enjoying who you are. So anyway.
So just
is there anything I've missed?
As I said, I have heard your story so many times, and it still amazes me. that to have such expertise and in just all different areas, and some of the things you have gotten me into. It's like, okay, another one of Carol's things. All right, fine, I'll try it. Yeah.
Well, and every one of them has been worth trying.
And has been absolutely worth it.
Yes,
Has
a
been
friend of ours
absolutely worth
named
it.
Adam said, so basically you have tried all these things, tried the products, tried the machines, tried the protocols. And so you've done the research, and so people can take your lifetime work and start from there and be
Yeah.
healthy. And earlier today, I just sat down and visited with a lady, to get what does she want? What does she want in her life?
Right.
And that's where it starts. It's not what I can't put on you what I want you to have.
Right.
Yeah, and that's tempting, because we can't want it more for you more than you want it for yourself, because
Right.
you're not going to follow through. It has to be a collaboration,
Yeah.
co-laboring. And the things we have, you can start little bitty. I mean, one little tweak a day. I mean, one little tweak every morning can change your life.
Yeah.
Can change your life from now on. And it can be a mental tweak, it can be a nutritional tweak. And that's what I do, is delve in and see, what do you need?
Yeah.
So,
So,
okay, a
hey,
shameless plug.
shameless plug. Yes, I was just going to remind you.
We're on Facebook right now, but we also are on YouTube. Please click like and share. If you're on YouTube, click the bell, click the subscribe button. But we are also starting a new channel, and it's going to be called, we think, our plan is to call it Zalevo Zingers. And it will be in the area of some of the nutritional things that we do, the hows, the wherefores, and the little short stories of what we have done with people, or for people, or people that we know have done in their lives to make their lives healthier. And we are so excited. We're starting to get some of those interviews and some of those snippets done. And we're very, very excited about presenting that, hopefully in this next month. So,
absolutely.
right.
So, thanks, Carol. We always talk about what we do, like between ourselves, but not on air.
Yes.
So this is,
and it'll give us a chance to do that on air, because we keep these channels very nondescript. It doesn't matter what business you're in, what you do for people. Yeah. It's about improving lives. But we felt, so many people reach out to us and say, so what do you do? How do I work with you? How do I get a chance to glean from your knowledge? And we bring it on. That's what we love to do, is help other people. And it doesn't matter where you are. If you have,
there's a place for everyone
in Australia, reach out to us. We do have people from there, but if you're there, please do reach out for us. We are looking for new friends in Australia and in Canada.
Yes.
So yeah, excited. So this is a new year. 2023 is going to be absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
Make sure you're standing on the right side of the line.
Yes, absolutely. And just take advantage of the knowledge, of the science, the expertise that is out there for you.
Yes.
And one of the things that I always share with people is that, you know what? It does not take anything extra to try something new.
Exactly.
Everything to gain and nothing to lose.
Exactly.
So if you have a concern right now, a health challenge that you're tired of, let us know. Let us reach out to you. Reach out to us. And we know we can help you.
Well, and so many people are coming up saying, I have brain fog. I don't think like I need. And something I was studying the other day, dementia usually starts in your 30s, but you don't notice it because it's so slow.
Right. And one out of 6 people has some form of it.
Yes. Yes. And also, if you have diabetes or struggle with diabetes now, know that they have now renamed Alzheimer's to be diabetes 3.
Yeah. So a totally different show.
Totally
However,
different show.
if
But
you know
just those are
somebody
little
that
hints.
has it,
Mhm.
let us know. Reach
Yes.
out to us.
Yes. So thank you for interviewing me today. This
Hey,
is
this is fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
because
to
normally
tell
we
our
just talk
story.
among ourselves. So today we thought we'll talk among ourselves, but do it on air.
Yes, yes.
Why not?
So anyway, guys, remember, spiral up, don't spiral down. Watch the words of your mouth, because that and the thoughts. You have over 3 trillion cells eavesdropping on every thought you have, trying
Yes.
to fulfill your greatest wishes. So make
Yes.
sure your thoughts and your words are gracious and kind, even to yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Bye.
Anyways, bye everybody.